everybody. My name is Miss Nancy, and on this show, you get to hear all the social issues and someone to see what Chrome Ho and Sema can say this particular story. I'm just blown away. We need to listen and know. Does she tell her partner and let go of her marriage, her beautiful family life, and the lies she is projecting to the society? What does she do? Does she keep the secret until death comes in? What actually does she do? I have these wonderful people here with me in the studio to do justice to this conversation. And a fine medical doctor is also here to give us his opinion, medical opinion, professional opinion about the situation. This is Confessions. Do not go away. We'll be right back. She is a woman, she is a wife, she is a mother, and she has a confession. I am here to listen to her confession. It is soothing, it is de-stressing, it does something to your soul if you are able to tell your sins and your ills. You are welcome to Confessions on TV3.
Thank you for having me, Miss Nancy.
Let's listen to your story.
I've been happily married for more than 6 years now, but the first 4 years were kind of hard.
Okay.
First year during my marriage, I couldn't conceive.
Okay.
I wasn't so worried because it was just the first year.
Of course, the honeymoon season,
yes.
right?
Yes, but then the second, the third, still nothing. I decided to go and see a doctor.
Okay.
He said there was nothing wrong, and there was no problem, so he recommended that my husband should also come and check himself.
Of course.
And according to my husband, he says he already has a first kid, so he's fine, there's nothing wrong with him. And during those years, I was having pressure from his family, even from the society.
Of course.
I felt this pressure. I even got depressed at some point. I really had to give him a child like everybody was expecting.
And you needed one yourself too.
Yes, yes. And I love my husband so much. I wanted to make him happy as well. So one thing led to the other. Our driver, actually, he was very nice, and we began to flirt, my driver and I. And we kind of got intimate.
Your driver
Yes.
started flirting with you, or you started flirting with him?
I would say because of the pressure that was coming to me, I gave in.
He made advances at you?
I would say yes.
Whoa, that is some very confident driver who can hit on his madam.
I was kind of on my low point, so he, according to what I saw, he was being nice to me. At that point, I wasn't thinking of he flirting with me. I just
But
needed
he was
somebody,
just a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear.
Yeah, so we had sex. Yes. So I got pregnant by him, by the driver, and another one again. So I had 2 children that my husband thinks it's his. So my dilemma right now is I haven't been feeling okay for 2 years now because of what I've done. I don't know if I should tell him or we should, because we are happy right now. His family are treating me nice. I'm having this freedom right now. All the pressure is gone. I don't have any problem.
And you have the smiles and the companionship of children.
Yes.
Being around children alone is healing. Yes. So I'm sure you are fine. But your husband, is he aware that he's unable to make children?
He said he's fine, but I don't think so.
You didn't go to see the doctor together?
No, he didn't want to go. I don't know
with
why,
you,
because
but he said he went to see a doctor.
He didn't. He has never gone to see a doctor. He has a first child, so he's thinking because he has a first child, it's okay. But even if I think about it, I don't even think the child is his. He can't, because I've been with him for 6 years now.
And not once did you miss your period?
No.
But within the period you were with your driver,
Yes.
it just happened like that.
Yes.
This is some story. How do we even get to the conclusion that he's actually infertile, or probably it is just your genes that does not complement each other, so you're unable to make children together? He probably could make a child like he did at the first one. I mean,
if he did go to see a doctor, we would probably have all these problems solved. But he didn't want to. He keeps saying because he has a fresh child, there's nothing wrong with him. It's coming from me, and a lot of problems.
and then he named the children.
He did.
Does the driver know that these children are his?
Yes.
He knows.
Yes.
And he's still working with your husband and you,
Yes, he is.
He's still
and
there.
taking care of the children,
Yes, he is.
adoring them all over.
He's actually very close with the kids. It's just between me and him who knows what is going on. The kids and my husband aren't aware of anything.
This is her confession. Many years of marriage without a child. She was frustrated, almost depressed at a point. She spoke to her driver. He had a good ear to listen to her, a good shoulder for her to cry on, and probably a very warm bosom. Currently, he has served 2 children with this woman. This is her confession. Let us go into the studio and know what everybody thinks about it, including my great counselor. You are welcome to the studios. Now, if you were the husband, would you want this woman to come to you and tell you that, listen, we have 2 beautiful children who are actually not yours, and that whilst I was frustrated in the marriage and I so wanted to hold my own children, your driver decided to be the donor. He didn't just give me great ecstatic O's, he actually served our 2 children. Would you want to hear that from me, woman?
Yes, I would love to hear that.
You would love to hear that?
Yes, because I'm married to her. She's my wife.
Okay, so you definitely need to know.
Yes, I have
Any
to.
man with the same opinion?
No, because we are married, we have problems. So if there's anything of such, you need to confront me first before you do or take a decision on your own. And me finding out, the highest I'll just let you go with the driver. You'll continue with your life.
So right now, would you want your woman to tell you that, yes, I made a decision on our behalf, and now we have 2 children and a happy home? Or you prefer that, yes, if she's made that decision on your behalf, she should keep her trouble until death?
And
You
she
just
should,
don't
she
want to
should
know.
just keep her trouble. So
You don't want to know.
telling me at the least, like, let's say we've already gone into it so deeply, and you're telling me at that moment, I'll feel very disappointed. And what if I have anger issues? Do you understand? So you just keep it. Just keep it. Because I already understand I'm impotent and I can't do what? Have a baby. So since we are happy and we're okay, we're moving on, just keep it.
What if I've been trying to communicate with you for a very long time? What if I've been trying to talk to you about my issues of not having birth, and then you are just not listening, you are not paying attention, and then the driver is...
Or taking it for granted? Because in
Yes.
this case, she
And then
said
the
that-
pressure is on me, not on you.
But you're trying to tell me something. I'm your husband. There's a way you put things together.
You are
and I
not
will
paying
listen.
attention. The
Why
driver
won't I pay
is.
attention?
The driver is.
The driver is paying. So what kind of connection do you have with the driver?
Gave a listening ear.
Yes, and you
He
didn't.
gave some strokes at the tips of his finger.
Yes, and
he
you
gave
didn't.
a warm bosom. And
But
before
wait.
we knew it, 2 human beings were in this
For
world.
me, I prefer you telling me. If I get to say it somewhere, or maybe hear it from another person, or catch you or something like that, I'll be very mad at you. Very, very mad. But if you tell me that, okay, this is what went on, and this is what has happened, I may get angry, or maybe I may not. All depends on me.
Well,
Miss
probably
Nancy.
you would not be angry if you are aware that you are having fertility issues. But if you know that you are a healthy man, like she described, that he actually has another child from a previous relationship,
Exactly. If I realize
What
the
if that
problem is
child
coming from
doesn't
me,
belong to him?
if I realize the problem is coming from
That
me,
is
What
another
if that
question.
child doesn't belong
we
to
need
him?
to check. So right now, the other woman who claims that has a child even has an issue
What if
here.
it's for someone?
Miss Nancy,
Well,
first of all, I just want to find out. Did the lady tell the husband that she cannot give birth? Did the husband also tell the lady that he's impotent?
okay, so there is a vast difference between, I'm sure the doctor will tell us, a difference between being impotent and being infertile. Some
Okay,
people
so-
are having all manner of orgasms and still cannot create babies. Yeah.
So I hear the lady was saying the man has a child already.
Yes.
Okay. So if the man has a child and I'm with you, you cannot give birth. Okay? We need to go to the hospital. But I'm busy. So if you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you something, you need to come back
The
and
doctor says, I am fine. There is nothing
so
wrong
you
with
need
me.
to have time and talk to me.
And I tell you that I am fine. Can you go and check if you are fine too? And you said the evidence of your fineness is your first child.
What if the first child is not yours and you are saying you are busy? If you are busy, the driver is not busy.
You see, listening to this story, this tells me that, you see, we have been hearing a whole lot of stories. Now, all men should be careful. Most men should go and have a test on their first children.
First
Because-
children?
Yes.
Only first children?
No, the first. No, when you find out that the first one is not yours, then you can proceed. This thing has been happening in the country so many times,
Should
and
it-
it's not good.
Well, it looks like at a point in our lives, we would have to make paternity, a constant thing after birth.
Yes, and
Before
also
you are even given a birth certificate, which would have to include your father's name. The nation would have to get to that place. And this woman who is a wife, I am just wondering, what was it? What conversation did she have with the driver that gave the driver so much confidence that he could actually hit on his madam? You are still here. Can you tell us the first time that he touched you, that you made love, or did he kiss you? My God.
The first time, I think it was unaware. I wasn't myself. I was in my deepest time, and he was taking me to the markets at that time. So we parked somewhere, and he was touching me and saying everything will be fine, I shouldn't worry. And then one thing led to the other.
Well, she was in a very bad mood. Well, this
Miss
is the
Nancy.
story of one woman. And trust me, this probably is the story of so many women in Ghana who are not confident to come around. And that is why we're having conversations on TV3. We get to know what is happening in other people's lives and how to go about it the right way. Dr. Koma's team, Jehu Apia, is the doctor on the show tonight, and we get to talk about infertility issues and whatever causes couples not to be at the same place to be able to procreate. Ladies and gentlemen, our resource person for the night, Dr. Jehu Apia. Yeah. Hello, sir.
Hello, Miss Nancy. How are you?
Blessed and beautiful. It's good
Fantastic.
to have you.
Thank you. Same to you too.
Let's listen to your story.
I've been happily married for more than 6 years now. But the first 4 years were kind of hard.
Okay.
First year during my marriage, I couldn't conceive.
Okay.
I wasn't so worried because it was just the first year.
Of course, the honeymoon season,
yes.
right?
Yes, but then the second, the third, still nothing. I decided to go and see a doctor.
Okay.
He said there was nothing wrong and there was no problem, so he recommended that my husband should also come and check himself.
Of course.
And according to my husband, he says he already has a first kid, so he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. And during those years, I was having pressure from his family, even from the society.
Of course.
I felt this pressure. I even got depressed at some point. I really had to give him a child like everybody was expecting.
And you needed one yourself too.
Yes. And I love my husband so much. I wanted to make him happy as well. So one thing led to the other. Our driver, actually, he was very nice, and we began to flirt, my driver and I, and we kind of got intimate. We had sex. I got pregnant by him, by the driver, and another one again. So I had 2 children that my husband thinks it's his.
Doc, this conversation tonight is not exactly a pleasant one.
Right. You are right, because socially, nobody will want to accept that. But there are several factors relating to that. And we'll need to confront it and see how we can address that.
Okay.
Right. I heard from the story that they've been married for some time. How many years? 5 years?
5 years, yeah, 6 years.
Yes, I know a couple that have been married for that long, even beyond that, and they've had children. Yeah. And what the lady is telling us is that the husband refused to go to see the doctor.
Yeah.
That was the first mistake.
Okay.
If the gentleman had gone to see the doctor, maybe something would have been corrected.
Yeah.
You understand? Would have been corrected. Because you cannot conclude that because they've not had a child for 6 years, it's infertile. You cannot say that.
Yeah.
If he should have gone, seen the doctor, done the test, there's some form of infection that we get when we're young and naughty. And get
When you're all over the place, right?
the rest, not me. Where, you have the infection is partially treated,
Okay.
not fully treated.
Treated.
Can't destroy your spermatogenesis, production of sperms. So if you go to the doctor and they go through the history, and we are honest enough to tell the doctor would have gone through that and maybe retreated that. That can help bring up, make you be able to have a child. I also heard that the gentleman had a child previously. Normally, men who have had previous relationship and had children think that they're okay. But that is not the
there
story.
a possibility that a man would have a child
Sure.
and after that would have issues where he cannot father another?
Oh, yeah, several factors.
Oh.
Let's say that was his child. He fathers that child.
Yeah.
Let's say that he did the DNA test and that was his child. It can still happen even after that. He would have had that infection that would have prevented him from making another woman pregnant.
Whoa.
And also, this is a medical aspect of it, but I also look at it this way. When we go through counseling, whatever we call counseling, and they always insist, even when they are putting you together, they said, you should go and be fruitful and multiply. Who says that? Not every
All
relationship can
unions
produce. Yes. We cannot say that. We should stop saying that. Because not all relationship can lead to that, who having children. You are married to this individual for life.
But does that expression, literally mean go and have children or be a family?
Do you know how powerful a priest are?
They are.
Thank you. They tell you all those stories and take it, it sinks in.
Yes.
Whatever they say, you do it. Some overdo it. Some are also wise now. Some
Yeah.
priests, some are not wise. Let me frank here. They tell you all these things and you internalize it. Oh yeah, we should have children. They tell you that after 1 year, if you don't have, then there's a problem. First, actually, we said yes. 2 years of having sex together, you don't get pregnant, it means they have to go and check. But this time we reduce it to 1 year.
Oh, okay.
1 year, if you do it at the right time, the time that the woman, is ovulating, and you can have sex,
unprotected sex.
Yes, and make sure you do it to the end. You know what I mean?
Do it to the end.
There are children.
Oh, Doc,
There are
this
children
is
who
for
are watching.
educational purposes.
At
And
my
this is,
age-
doing
my-
it to the end means that you actually...
Okay. One day we'll do sex education here. Because I'm also a sexual reproductive health specialist.
I'm happy to
So
have you.
this is what I've done all my life.
Okay.
So it is important that you do it and do it right.
Yes.
It's important you do it at the right time and make sure that, everything is done. That should go through the counseling.
Yes.
But the counseling now goes through other things that I do not understand. Anyway, that is one of the factors.
Yes.
Another factor could be that the woman herself cannot be trusted. Because when I heard a story that she was going to the market with a driver, and the driver took advantage.
Of her.
And they did it, I believe they did it somewhere.
That is what she said.
That's
is
what
where
she's
it
saying.
commenced.
Yeah.
That was the first time that he actually made an advance,
Yes.
like physically touch her. And I'm sure she felt it. That is how she can recall when it started. So, mami, me soon bibia be fine.
Bibia be correct,
Na ne nsa na mo sere ho. Me
Uza,
soon bibia be fine.
Don't show it.
Na
But what I'm trying to say is that, how dare you, driver, go to
At
that
what
extent?
point?
At what point do you have a feeling for your
Confidence.
boss's wife? And your boss's wife will acquiesce to all these promptings. Yes, you are not having children. That does not allow you to be promiscuous. You understand? Let's say that is the driver. How many other men did she tell us? I'm not accusing her. I'm also saying that some situations and the societal pressure will push you to do other things that you ordinarily wouldn't do.
But Doc, we all have heard stories of women having broken hearts and challenges in their marriages, going on to their male friends, even people they trust, even to discuss these challenges with, and they end up in the beds of this. Is there a psychology behind
Thank you very
sharing
much.
my personal or private problem with you and ending up in a sexual relationship?
Thank you very much. You brought to the psychological part of it. Because we don't have enough psychologists to go around and actually work on these relationships and to get them together. Normally, we wouldn't go to psychologists. We go to pastors. How many people think that these pastors are well trained even to handle psychology? You understand? Some pastors even end up sleeping with the same woman. You know that?
I
know stories. That's where I've worked in the past, and I know stories, including pastors who are not supposed to even have sex. I wouldn't mention the church. But, yes, they take advantage and
of
have
people
children.
coming in
I have these
with
stories.
all manner of confessions.
With all these ethics, I wouldn't be able to say where I heard that, but I have them in the record.
Of course.
And I think it's important that we realize that when you are married, there's a union that you have to revere. There's something that you've told yourself. Let's take the Bible out. But if those who go to
morally,
morally, there are certain things that the two of you should share all the time.
Vows, words,
Dear Mr. Husband,
exchanged.
Dear Mr. Husband, if he's listening, I don't know if he's been told this, but if any person in that situation is listening, please, if you are married and you are going through such difficulties, go and talk to your doctor. Go with your wife. Go and let them examine the both of you. In some cases, they will be able to treat you.
Yeah.
In some cases, they'll be to, take some specimen of your sperm. They have a room they call the masturbatorium. Masturbatorium where they show images of women or people having sex that excites you, and you can produce sperm. And they will take it up into the laboratory to find out how potent your sperms are. And they can artificially inseminate.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great submissions from Dr. Jehu Appiah right here, and I'm so happy to have you in this conversation. So, Doc, I mean, do you think it's ideal for a woman to sit her husband down and say that, I have been waiting for us to have children. I waited and waited and it never happened. And one day I became depressed, frustrated. I spoke to somebody. The person gave me a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on and a warm bosom. And I was with this person and I was able to do it. And we had 2 children out of it, whom you believe you have said.
Ooh.
Should I say this to my partner? Should I take it to death? And if I am to say it, how am I supposed to say it? Do I bring the family in? Do I do it alone? Am I sure that when he's done, he's not going to pick his pistol and kill me? How am I supposed to say this if I am supposed to say it?
Right. Once you marry, you establish a good relationship where you can tell your husband and your husband can tell you everything. And there's trust. But if you have broken that trust twice, not once, you've broken it twice. And I don't believe that it's two sexual intercourses that gave you two births.
No.
Normally.
Oh, Doc.
yes.
You see, when the devil is after you, you do one pet.
Please,
I
this
make it
time, give the devil. Let's
we
leave
should
the
leave
doctor
him
out.
out of it.
You see, not honestly. Let's be factual here. If the first one was a mistake, the second one couldn't have been a mistake. I believe that this woman had an affection for the driver. The driver made the first approach, yes. How dare you, driver, make an approach? Why? So I think it happened in the sense that, and this time, what are you going to tell the husband? That I fall in love with our driver? And that your children that you are paying for? You see, the difficulty here, let me say this. Even if she's able to talk to the husband, and the husband accepts that this is, okay, even we can adopt children who are not ours. We can adopt and the husband agrees to adopt the children. Let me tell you something. In case this driver has a genetic disease that we do not know and passes on to the children, and they are your children now, you are going to take care of that genetic condition and spend your life on it.
Financially, emotionally.
Everything, spiritually.
Even
Spiritually. So, and the husband is going to live with that. And, it will be difficult, honestly. We live in a real world, not the ideal world. You said ideally, should the woman say, in the real world, how can you say it? In this real, the real world we are living in, some will bring in even a third partner. A priest, an elder, a psychologist. The best is a psychologist.
Yeah.
Who will be impartial and look at the situation,
And
what the
advise.
woman was going through for the 5 years of no child marriage. The pressure from the family, from society, from friends, going through all that. I don't speak but there's something called Kojemo, right? It's adoring.
Adoring.
I believe that they had a lavish adoring.
I'm sure.
And the husband thought that was the husband. You see, I'm creating a scenario that is real. Would you believe that this husband would have received all the accolades from the friends and all that? Congratulations, now you have a children, the priest and all that, your family.
And this one looks like you. Imagine he's been told several times that, your first son there, your split image.
Oh, yeah. They always say it. Photocopy. Xerox. And it happens this way that you've received all that. And you, woman, would have kept, because we have established a relationship that we can talk to each other.
Yeah.
We can share our emotions and we can share our difficulties. Of course, there are quarrels in marriages. It's part of the equation. But to have fallen in love with my driver, the first time you made a mistake, what type of mistake is this? And the second time, it's a sweet mistake I heard from the friend. And the second time, you still have a second child. The same Kojemo adoring comes on. I knew.
I'm sure the driver drank, ate, and danced.
You see, you don't even know if the driver, apart from the congenital diseases, you don't even know which infection the driver would have brought home and would have passed on to your husband.
Shared with her husband.
So it's a very difficult situation.
Doc, at this point, bottom line, are we telling Daddy that the children are not his, or we're taking it to death?
I'll give you this answer, but I just want to know from you first. What do you think?
Bottom line, you would have to give the answer, but he would only give this answer after the break. Please don't go away. On Confessions, we go outside to know exactly what the society thinks about these stories we get on a daily basis. Hey, let's go outside and know, should she tell or should she take it to death?
I think this is quite simple. What I would do is, I'll just divorce her. To be very honest, I'll just divorce her. And either sue her and probably take the kids, even if the kids are not mine, because basically I took care of them from labor to whatever age they got to before I found out this case. So if the children also likes me so much, and since I also like them as my children, I'll take them.
If there's a possibility of my wife cheating on me with my driver, I won't be in a haste to do anything. I'll just chill and we'll have a DNA test. We'll get the kids tested, and then if they are my kids, cool. If they are not my kids, I'll just divorce my wife, fire my driver, and I'll be disappointed, but then it is what it is.
We are still at the place where we are not sure. Even on the streets, some say to tell, some say not to tell. We would have to wrap it up eventually right here and decide, are we telling or we're not telling? Studio audience, are we telling as a woman, as a wife, with this big secret? How do you feel? Yes, she came on Confessions. It does something to your soul to be able to share your story. But the one who is involved in the story, your partner, are you able to tell? Should you tell or should you not tell, my lady?
This is a very dicey situation. I think that we will all agree that this is a very dicey situation. Now, I also believe that this decision is very, very tailored to the individual. Right now, what does she want? Does she want peace of mind or she wants a marriage? Because for me, I believe that no man will hear that you cheated on me not once, but twice with the same person. And
children out of it.
And even had children out of it. And still continue with the marriage. Should it be that way? No. Ideally, if your wife cheats on you, you should be able to forgive.
Forgive, right? In Ghana.
Because, I mean, we are
if your wife
expected...
cheats on you in Ghana.
Women are expected to forgive when their husbands cheat.
I agree.
All the time. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
I know people are pointing left and no, saying no, wipers, giving me wipers, but I'm not... I'm trying to be very
realistic.
objective.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
so
you.
it solely depends on whether she wants a peace of mind or her marriage. If she wants your peace of mind, you will need to confess.
For
You
this
understand?
conversation, she says that it's neither a yes nor no. It depends on the individual. A choice between your peace of mind and your marriage. Which one are you choosing? Yes, my gentleman.
Yeah, Miss Nancy, first of all, when something happens for the first time and you're unconsciously, we say it's a mistake. But for the second time, it's a choice. That's number one. And then secondly, I think one thing God hasn't done is making men pregnant. Because when there's a marriage ceremony and children are not coming out of that marriage, I know for men for sure they have been trying elsewhere. Because when a woman gets pregnant, they can keep that pregnancy, they can keep that woman for a very long time without telling their wife. But women, it's not so because you get pregnant and you know you have, cheated. So that is where women are kind of falling short because, they have to succumb to.
They're always at a disadvantage.
So the only thing I would say right now is she should tell the husband because...
If it were you,
yes,
your wife says that I have had two children
I'll break up
with
you.
another man, and that man involved is your driver?
Because if I have a girlfriend,
but
even
I
a
love
girlfriend...
You. I don't want to lose this marriage.
Even
I actually did that because of you.
Even a girlfriend, if I know that this guy, I know him, had sex with my girlfriend, trust me, I can't take it easily. How much more a driver I'm paying? Oh, come on, I can't. So just tell me, pack and leave, that's it.
Yes.
This is what I think, okay? First of all, somebody that I pay, somebody we brought from nowhere.
So the problem is not exactly with she cheating on you, but who she cheated with.
Who she cheated with,
Where?
first. Secondly,
the man is angry.
The way she was able, the way she was able to give in to the driver. And even when she was speaking, if you listen to the way she was talking, she said, oh, you asked a question, did you kiss him the first time? She said, oh.
I heard that most women who have not exploited themselves before marriages, most women that marry as virgins, are mostly tempted to try it once or twice outside the marriage because they want to know what is out there in the world. Is there psychology to it, or is just a jamanfo?
The fantasies in having sex, for those who have not had it, is real. You fantasize with it that it is this way, it is that way. And when we are young, we hear all types of stories, especially in schools. I was doing a similar program some time ago in Unique FM. And the gentleman will come and tell you that he went to the bathroom for the first time, and I saw my friends, whatever, and I realized that I'm inadequate.
Mine is too small. Ow.
I'm inadequate, let me put it that
Ow.
way. And I will
so
usually
kind.
examine the inadequacy, and I'll tell them, you know what you have, I wish I had yours.
It's another person's miracle.
Just to,
in comparing themselves one
say,
to another.
Yes, and I believe that women also have that conversation.
Yeah.
Let's also agree that people have different sex drives.
Yeah.
There are some women you really have to work on them to get to that limit you want to. Some to one small touch by your driver.
Apparently, they said grief is the best aphrodisiac.
You see now?
She was going through something. She was sad.
Grieving.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, it can happen, but you also have your mental faculties working properly. I know the social influences on other people, the pressures and all that. But if the sex drive is very high, there are people with sex drive, we tend to call them nymphomaniacs.
Yeah.
But they think that they love sex, they have sex, they just want to have sex. Yes, they need satisfaction to be able to get there. Let me tell you that. There's also another disease in women who have advanced in age. I won't say it's cancerous, but something that happens to the ovaries that makes them very, they always want to have some satisfaction.
Okay.
At that age, the husband will also be going down. At certain ages, our potency goes down.
Yeah.
I don't know about me, but other people, their potency goes down. But their women will now be at the edge of having that. And normally you hear such stories. Such women whose husband's potency have gone down
and
now turn to their drivers, their gardeners, or people around. But this is not the situation. This is a young marriage.
Yes.
I believe that, first of all, the fault is on the man. If you had accepted, if you responded too quickly. I believe when we are going through the clinic for examination of such a kind, the two of you should go together. So that you know that this is a difficulty we are going through. The husband will be counseled, the husband will be examined, the woman will be examined. Don't allow your wife to go alone. I know instances where women are frustrated at that level, they go alone to a doctor, and some doctors take advantage. I know, they take advantage. Oh, everything is fine, let's try and see.
Yeah.
You do it, you get pregnant, you get the pregnancy terminated. So you come, yes, I'm okay. You come home, you don't tell the story.
Yeah.
So I believe that when you are going to such places, go with your man.
Together.
Be in the room, the consulting room with your man. Man, let your wife also listen to your challenges.
Yeah.
That is what we call marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage is that we share the good and the bad.
We're sharing the good
we share
and
the
the
good and the
bad. Wonderful. So, did we get to the bottom line of telling or not telling, Doctor?
The beauty of your program, I believe, is to leave this question unanswered.
Well, I am sure that the woman with a story is still here. Have you been helped, my dear?
In a way, I'd say yes, even though I still haven't gotten an answer yet.
Because there was a particular comment that says that saying yes, tell, or no, don't tell, doesn't work for everybody. It is about what you want. So right now, what do you want to fight for? Your peace of mind or your marriage? Making it look good in the eyes of all, but living a lie. Which one are you opting for?
I would choose my marriage, a happy marriage.
She chooses her marriage. She chooses her peace of mind. She chooses to live a lie for the rest of her life. That is a choice. And if you are in this situation, we have given you a reason to think about your choices and the effect. From this conversation, we know that these challenges in marriages are sometimes inevitable.
Sure.
How you handle it is important. Who you speak to, in her case, she chose the wrong man. A man that fancied her, a man that couldn't wait to get his hands on her, a man that dared to touch the wife of his boss. She chose the wrong person. And she didn't allow it to be just a mistake. She did it once and twice. And so it is no longer a mistake. I am sure that you learned something awesome from this conversation, and that you would be careful who you run to the next time you are frustrated and depressed, so that you do not land yourself in a place where you have to live a lie for the rest of your life. This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy. Doctor, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you. It's been a great conversation.